So I've heard it's a common thing, but it's not something I've personally experienced. A group of adventurers just collecting followers and NPCs to join them on their merry adventures. That is the tale of Chaos Unleashed, I think I've called it. Continued. I finally managed to get the group back together. This, if you don't know, if you're following for the vampire stuff, is a weekly, or was a weekly, vlog about the adventures me and my friends have off camera. I just felt like vlogging it for them, for me, so we could share stories about stupid things that happen. And one of the stupid things that keeps on happening is we collect more and more followers. So at the moment, I'm going to set the scene and then go on to explain exactly how we get our newest addition to the party. And then go through all the others, because that's fun. If you do want to get the backstory on this, please, there's an entire playlist, so watch through that and you'll get an interesting story, I hope. After the previous session, we have arrived in the town of Mazestone, a maze-like city made of stone. We're in Mazestone because the paladin is searching for the evil crystals of the Watcher to destroy them, and our monk Kai Meng has felt the presence and the necromantic magics of his brother or uncle, Mai Kang, I think. I can't remember. Whatever's happened to this city, it seems pretty clear that his brother-uncle has done this. And all of the inhabitants appear to be dead. We had just discovered a shield wall of skeletons moving down the street as one unit in a kind of sort of tortoise formation, with shields above, shields in front, and very slowly encroaching on us and our safe-ish haven. So, of course, the paladin charges, using her ability to say, well, if someone charges with me for Valeria, we shall be protected. And she gave everyone that charged with her a +1 to their rolls, which was cool. But I think it was just me and one other person out of the, at this point, there was 1, 2, 3, 4... 6 people at the table. So in various ways we attempt to overcome this shield wall. Kai Meng ends up balancing on top of one of the shields and then manages to jump and crush a skeleton, starting to make holes, and then Bessie just barrels through. Other people do flips, and as ever, our immolator, using his magic ritual, decides to summon a bone weevil. So, to do this, he uses his Vorpal knife to sever reality from itself into the wasteland realm to summon a bone weevil. But he needs a bone, because obviously skeletons are this thing's favourite meal. Obviously, I don't know where they got this. Is this a thing from D&D? Help me, someone. Anyway, bone weevil, and I'm like, cool. Well, that's stealing is my thing, so I guess I can go through their pockets. I sprint back up to the shield wall after fighting them and then going back to see what the hell the magic stuff was going on. Stick my arm through the shield wall, reach around, and try and find something. I grab a hold of a thing, yank it out. It's a pelvis. It's a bone. It'll work. I unfortunately have drawn the ire of every single skeleton, however, so I put it on my head and try and disguise myself because I'm a rogue. This doesn't convince them though, so I take it off my head and I fling it at Ash the Immolator for his ritual. Unfortunately, he has literally just narrated that he was standing behind me to take the pelvis off, so I hit him in the head. Just threw it point blank range, because that's what happens when you get to narrate your own stuff. At this point, Bessie has managed to scatter parts of the shield wall, destroy the zombie-fied leader skeleton who was waving a magic wand, possibly controlling this shield wall, basically crushed that. Everything went into disarray. The shield wall collapsed, and they were a lot easier to fight now, but there was still some left. So, Ash continued his ritual, tore through into another dimension, and was just like, here boy, here, come on. And out jumped a kind of bone weevil, which I personally imagine as a big badger with gnashing teeth. And that went about the skeletons and scattered them and scared the crap out of them. They're like, even though we couldn't see, I guess they were like, "Urgh," but even though we couldn't see their expressions, we could definitely tell they weren't happy about it because they did a lot of raising shields and backing away. So the bone weevil hoovered up all the bones we'd crushed already and a few of the skeletons while we mopped up the rest. Apart from the one that had chased me and that I had led to Ash the Immolator, who had just finished the ritual when it was about to kill him, or try to. And as you may have noticed at this point, Ash is the anarchist, Ash is the socialist revolutionary in our party. And so, as his alignment, he gets to spread, or he intends to spread, dangerous new ideas. So he turns to the skeleton and says, "Have you considered seizing the means of production of your own necromantic chains? You should be free. Whoever is controlling you, you should be free from them. You should make your own decisions. This is an entire city for you." And so the skeleton thought for a second and dropped its weapons and was like, And you can see where this is going. At this point, I should introduce our newest member, and this was a follower designed by committee, because there is a theme that you may or may not have noticed in our naming styles. So please welcome Malibu, the skeleton, whose hireling cost is socialist action, and his ability is adept, which is brilliant for the spellcasters, I guess. He improves their rolls for spells. I think I'm never going to use it. I'm a rogue. I don't get spells. So now we have the followers of Malibu, Curacao, Guinness, the warrior. Curacao is like a thief, and then Hooch, who's an adorable, protective owlbear that just eats everything. It's great. It's really cute, because every now and again the DM describes him like looking around, and then he either gets excited or curious, and his little feathers on his back of his head just go woof. It's great. Anyway, and at one point we were going to recruit a farmer Jack Daniels, but that didn't work out so well. Here's the link for how we killed that one. Anyway, Bessie, being driven as a paladin tends to by her divine goodness and sense of right and wrong, asked her goddess Valeria, "What here is evil?" And her goddess answered, "Well, really, isn't good and evil relative? Perhaps this skeleton could change its ways." So, with a sideways glance and everyone holding back her mace arm, literally everyone's like hanging off of this incredibly strong but dim paladin, just trying to stop her from just instantly crushing this skeleton that we now love and adore. We managed to convince her that Malibu will be fine, and it's time for her to accept that not everything is evil if it's undead. She wasn't convinced, but she was willing to wait until it did something evil to crush it. And that's a step forward for us. And at this point, we've cleared out all the skeletons. The bone weevil kind of sniffs around Malibu and is like, I'm full, and hops back through the dimensional tear, which then I believe gets closed. I don't know what we did about that, actually. Does it get closed? I must have missed that. I hope we didn't leave that open. It's that kind of feeling you get when you're not sure if you left the oven on. That's not good. And at this point, we kind of realise we're a bit lost. So we think about it and decide that, maybe I as a rogue should go and scout. So I climb up a building, look out onto the city, and I'm like, it appears to be a maze. It didn't really help. And so we start thinking, and we're like, which direction should we go? At which point, the skeleton helpfully chimes up with, I can't do the voice that the DM did, but it was basically that. It was brilliant. And that didn't help us either. So after a little bit of scouting, we decided that we should go in this general direction because I think that's where it is. And the paladin has an unwavering sense of direction towards these evil crystals. So we bash through another couple of groups of skeletons and start getting close to the library. At which point, the ground starts to shake. Which is unfortunate because we had just heard another patrol and we're like, maybe we can dodge it, maybe we can fight it. We're not sure. These are heavier footsteps than previous and they sound armoured and powerful. So maybe we can just hide. And that's when the earthquake began. While some of us, not going to say who, were halfway up buildings after not fully succeeding in their dexterity rolls. So there were quite a few of us hiding badly, trying to stealth, a few of us falling off of buildings, and then thinking what on earth this could be. Because this is not an earthquake region. So we're like, what could possibly cause an earthquake? And the character who wasn't there was the one who gave us a clue. Because we thought back to this barbarian's many lectures about his homeland in the desert where they rode gigantic purple worms. And come here, young one, sit on my lap. I will tell you of my bravery. And we were like, oh, crap, that's what it could be. Giant purple underground worm. They normally live in deserts, but maybe... And it became especially apparent that that's what it was when, using meta-knowledge here, one of our group, Maximilian Hammerus, decided to inspect the halls of Hammerus, the sewers. So we went down there and decided to look around, finding a dugout tunnel, approximately very big and very long and very dark. So obviously, Solo, he walks down it. And that is where we left off our session, with one of us going solo, finding the hole dug into the bottom of some basement full of books. How mysterious. What could that possibly be? And the rest of us falling off of buildings and badly hiding while waiting to get crushed by whatever it was just about to come around the corner. So hopefully you're enjoying these. Subscribe if you do, or if you're into Vampire the Masquerade. I have an actual play of that going on right now on Twitch, and the videos get uploaded here. I think one of my next videos, possibly next weekend, will be about VTM 5th edition Thin Blood clan. It's not really a clan, but the characters that you can create with Thin Bloods, how they work, what they do, how they're different, that sort of thing. Because I've heard a few comments and they seem to be a little bit confused about how they either relate to the Caitiff clan or how they work in general. There's a little bit of confusion, but actually it's quite simple, so I thought I'd make a video about it, because I'm really into vampire right now. So, yeah, if you've ever had a party that just collects lots of followers, please let me know what weird followers you ended up joining your caravan of characters, because I love that stuff. And this is a place where I want us to all share stories, because that's one of my favourite things about Dungeons and Dragons, just finding the weird eventualities that come out of a dice roll. So, until next time, Bye.